The warning ignored, the council chamber on Alvora Prime was filled with noise. Dozens of species spoke over one another, their voices rising in pride, anger, and arrogance. At the far end of the room, a single human stood quietly. His name was Mark. He wore the standard gray uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps, simple and plain. He did not shout. He did not plead. He waited. For days, Mark had tried to speak. He warned the Galactic Council of growing threats in the outer sectors, raiders armed with ancient weapons, strange disappearances near the edges of known space, and a mysterious signal Earth scientists had intercepted. But the Council laughed. Not openly, but in the little ways that said more than words. A twitch of a mouth, a glance exchanged between alien delegates, the slight delay before translations were allowed through. "You humans always think you know best," said one of the counselors, a tall, scaled alien named Commander Rilox. "Perhaps it's time Earth remembers its place." Mark's calm face did not change, but his eyes grew colder. "We are not asking for control, only preparation. What is coming will not stop at Earth." The head of the council, a being called Varn, waved a lazy hand. "If the danger is real, Earth can handle it alone. The rest of us will not waste resources on imaginary threats." Mark looked at them all, one by one. He said nothing more. He turned and walked away. The humans watching through the secure feed on Earth saw everything. They watched the betrayal happen in real time. The Council's rejection wasn't just political, it was personal. Earth had joined the Council centuries ago, helped defend planets during the Drask Wars, offered advanced healing tech to over 80 species, and even shared agricultural systems that had saved planets from famine. And now, when Earth raised a hand for help, the galaxy turned its back. Within the hour, Earth's ambassadorial envoys left every Council world, quietly, no announcements, no protests, just gone. For a time, the galaxy barely noticed. But the silence spread. Communications to Earth went unanswered. Trade ships stopped arriving. Human space, once open to all allies, closed like a fortress. Some thought it was pride. Others believed it was a bluff. Few realized the truth. Earth had simply decided. Enough was enough. In the days that followed, the outer colonies near human territory fell silent too. Council scout ships sent to investigate were turned away by powerful barriers of unknown origin. No violence, just a voiceover comes. "You are not welcome here anymore." Even Council intelligence couldn't explain how quickly it all happened. Earth, it seemed, had vanished from galactic affairs, but everyone still felt its presence. One Council member, an old diplomat named Relin, asked the others, "What if they really did walk away? What if this is not a retreat, but a warning?" Number one answered him. But across the stars, ships were moving silent and fast. Human ships, unknown designs. Stealth tech far beyond anything the Council had seen. They weren't heading for war. They were preparing for something else. And the Council didn't even know. It had already lost something far more dangerous than a battle. It had lost Earth's trust. And Earth would not ask again. Asterisk the empty seats. The Council chamber felt colder now. The seats once filled by Earth's delegates remained empty, untouched since the day they walked out. No replacements came. No messages. No responses to calls or envoys. Just silence. At first, the Council tried to move on. They carried on meetings, passed resolutions, discussed trade agreements and border issues. But each time they glanced at Earth's vacant seat, something inside them felt wrong. Ships from other species began reporting strange encounters near human space. Warning beacons with automated messages, polite but firm. "You are entering restricted space. Please turn back." This region is no longer under Council protection. One cargo vessel ignored the warning. It vanished. When a scout ship was sent to investigate, it found the cargo floating in space untouched. The ship, however, was gone. No wreckage. No distress signal. Just silence. The Council started to worry. In a private chamber, a small group of senior leaders met in secret. Varn, the Council head, was there, his usual arrogance replaced by a tight, jaw and tired eyes. "This isn't just silence," he said. "It's a statement." Relin, the oldest among them, nodded. "Earth warned us." We laughed. "Now they've disappeared behind their walls, and we have no idea what they're building. They could be planning war," Rilok said. "We need to prepare." But Relin shook his head. "No, Earth isn't preparing for war with us. If they wanted to fight, we'd already be dust." The room fell into silence. Because Relin was right, Earth had power. Everyone knew it. But they had always used it carefully, with discipline and restraint. They never sought control, never demanded tribute or titles, and yet their tech was far ahead. Their soldiers were stronger, faster, more precise. Their AI systems were so advanced, even the Council's best scientists couldn't replicate them. Earth never needed to conquer the stars, they simply outgrew them. Now, that power was gone, not taken, but withdrawn, and the galaxy felt the absence. Like a wound got in distant space, Earth's colonies thrived, protected by defense systems built in silence. Human cities glowed beneath reinforced domes, shielded from outside eyes. The Deathworld units, the elite human soldiers bred in the harshest places, were recalled from foreign worlds. Their orders were clear. No contact, no diplomacy, no rescue. Let the galaxy learn to survive without them. Meanwhile, quiet projects long hidden beneath Earth's surface activated. Old technologies, once deemed too dangerous to share, were refined. Massive orbital structures began to hum with life. Wormhole gates spun slowly, feeding on quiet energy fields never detected before. Earth was not waiting for war. It was preparing for something else. In the Council's intelligence room. A decrypted transmission was finally cracked. It had come from a far-off human outpost, moments before it went dark. The message was short. "We offered our hand. You slapped it away. Now you'll see how Earth walks alone." Panic began to spread in council meetings. But the more they tried to open dialogue, the more they realized there was no one left on the other side of the line. Humanity had gone silent, and the stars had never felt so quiet. Asterisk whispers in the void. In the weeks following Earth's disappearance from galactic affairs, rumors began to flow through the edges of space like dark winds. Freighter crews spoke of black ships, massive vessels, seen gliding silently through uncharted regions. They didn't attack. They didn't respond to hails. But they were fast. Too fast. And once they were spotted, scanners failed, navigation systems glitched, and crews were left shaken. Some dismissed it as space madness, but then came the recordings. One mining crew managed to transmit a short visual file before their systems shut down. It showed a dark triangular ship, twice the size of any Council cruiser, moving with unnatural precision. No visible engines, no markings. But the hull glowed faintly with a blue pattern like veins pulsing with light. And then it disappeared. No trace. No sound. Council leaders called it fabrication. But the scouts they sent next didn't return. In the galactic core, a key supply station belonging to the Volar species suddenly lost power. The station was built with human fusion coils tech Earth had once gifted the galaxy. Now, without warning, those coils shut down. Engineers tried to restart them, but the security system had changed. A new message appeared on every screen. This technology is no longer supported by Earth. Find your own way. That same week, more than 200 planetary systems, previously aided by human agricultural reported system-wide errors. Crops failed. Climate balancers turned off. Panic spread. The food shortage began within days. Without Earth's silent help, the galaxy realized how much it had depended on humanity. And how little it had appreciated them. In a quiet facility orbiting a Council core world. A young technician named Lyra studied the energy signatures of one of the black ships. What she found terrified her. The ship's energy curve matched nothing in any database. It wasn't just advanced, it was something entirely new. Not built for battle, not built for peace. Something else entirely. She ran to her superior. Sir, I think Earth is building toward something bigger. Not a war. A transformation. The officer frowned. Explain. They're preparing to leave. Leave what? She looked up slowly. Leave us. Leave this galaxy. It sounded crazy. Impossible. But Earth had always been ahead of the curve. And with the silence growing deeper and their technology evolving without limit, what if they were moving beyond? Meanwhile, council worlds were suffering. Trade routes collapsed. Conflicts reignited. Piracy returned. And with Earth's fleets gone, no one could stop them. The council begged other powers to step up, but no one could replace humanity. In secret. A few species began sending ships toward Earth's space, not to fight, but to observe. They found walls. Massive, invisible barriers that responded only with a single message. No entry. This space belongs to Earth. Inside those barriers, no one knew what humanity was doing. But out here, in the rest of the galaxy, they were already being missed. And some wondered, what happens when the only ones who kept the galaxy in order simply walk away? The galaxy cracks. The galaxy had once stood tall, united under the guidance of the Grand Council. Trade flowed. Peace was maintained. Disputes were managed with Earth's quiet strength in the background. But now, without humanity, the cracks began to show. The Nori clans, once held back by diplomatic pressure from Earth, resumed their age-old raids across the border sectors. The peaceful Yano peoples, long dependent on Earth's satellite defense grids, now stood exposed. Within a month, 4 of their colonies were sacked. The council met in emergency session after emergency session. But nothing changed. Arguments, accusations, and fear filled the chambers where Earth once offered calm solutions. Relin, the old diplomat, watched the chaos unfold from his personal quarters. He read the reports: pirates, swarming free zones, famine spreading through once flourishing planets, and a growing sense of panic on every frequency. Earth's absence had left a power vacuum, and the void was consuming the order they once took for granted. He turned on a secure frequency, a diplomatic line that had once gone straight to Earth's core office. This is Relin of the Council. If anyone on Earth hears this, please respond. We were wrong. We were blind. We need to talk. There was no reply. Earth didn't just stop talking. They stopped listening. Meanwhile, in human space, changes were happening fast. Deep beneath the surface of the moon, a structure activated an ancient project known only to Earth's highest command. Giant rings rotated, creating a pulse that spread across subspace. Observatories on distant worlds recorded a shift in gravitational patterns, but could not understand the source. In a vast orbital station above Neptune, AI minds worked in complete silence. They were not preparing weapons, they were preparing departure. Navigation gates opened, not outward, but downward, diving into spatial layers no other race could reach. Earth wasn't just locking its doors, it was building its own path. Back outside, council members now faced rebellion. Worlds that once followed Earth's stabilizing influence began to break away. Some declared independence, others turned to militarization. Still, others started to ask hard questions. If Earth was so advanced, what else were they hiding? In the Council's desperation, they tried something unthinkable. They sent a stealth drone into Earth space, cloaked in silence, hoping to see what lay beyond the wall. It never returned. But just before its signal went dark, a final message came through. You're trespassing. This is your only warning. And then, nothing. Raylan sat alone in the council chamber. The lights dim, the noise gone. Just echoes. The younger members didn't understand. They had grown up in peace. But he remembered before Earth, the galaxy had been chaos. Earth didn't bring war. They brought peace. And now, that peace was dying. Not because someone attacked, but because the protectors left without a word. Asterisk, the last outreach. Spread across the stars, Earth was no longer part of the galaxy. Not politically. Not economically. Not even spiritually. The very presence of humanity had once tied the galaxy together. Now, with their quiet withdrawal, it was unraveling. The council was fractured. Arguments grew heated. Old enemies reignited ancient grudges. Diplomats who once relied on Earth's wisdom now found themselves helpless in the face of rising tensions. Some worlds begged for Earth's return. Others blamed them for abandoning the galaxy. In a quiet corner of the galaxy, a council ship known as Unity's Echo carried a final diplomatic mission, one last attempt to speak with Earth. On board was an elder named Mara, a woman who had worked side by side with human ambassadors. Long ago, she knew their way not of conquest, but of quiet strength and dignity. As Unity's Echo approached the edge of Earth-claimed space, they were met with a barrier of light. Not energy, not metal, but some kind of shifting field, alive and humming with frequency beyond understanding. A message appeared in simple language. This is Earth territory. State your intent. Mara stepped forward, speaking directly to the recorder. I do not come to beg or to plead, only to speak. The galaxy is falling. We were arrogant. We were wrong. But you knew that already. I only asked that you listen. Last time. There was silence, then a corridor opened in the barrier, just wide enough for one ship. Inside, Unity's Echo floated through a vast field of silence. No stars, no signals, just endless black. Until they reached it, Earth's new space. Station. Massive, glowing with a silver-blue hue. Larger than anything the Council had ever seen. It orbited a planet that was no longer Earth alone, but something more covered in green. Energy veins, new structures that defied physics. It was as if the planet itself had evolved. A human figure appeared on screen, not military, not political. Just a man with tired eyes and a voice like still water. Mara, we remember you. She bowed her head slightly. Then you know why I've come. Yes, the man said. But we are not coming back. Mara swallowed. Why walk away now? Because we tried. For centuries we tried. We helped. We protected. We shared everything. And when we needed just a little trust in return, you cast us out. Now we've seen what lies beyond this galaxy. We've seen what you cannot. We cannot stay tied to a council built on pride. She stood silently, taking in the words. So this is farewell? No, this is peace. For us. Before she could speak again, the feed ended. And Unity's Echo was gently guided out of Earth space, back toward the dying stars of the galaxy they once knew. Mara returned to the Council with a message. They are not angry. They are not vengeful. They are simply gone. And in that truth, the Council felt something heavier than fear. Regret. Because in all their power, pride, and politics, they had lost something they could never replace. Asterisk echoes of regret. The council chamber had never been so quiet. No shouting. No arguing. Just silence. The same kind of silence Earth had given the galaxy weeks ago. Mira's report shook every corner of the council. Her words, recorded and broadcast across the core worlds, spread like fire through the networks. Earth is not coming back. They have chosen a higher path, one that no longer includes us. And with that, the galaxy changed. Across dozens of worlds, protests broke out. Not against Earth, but against the Council. Species once loyal now demanded reform. Others began calling for independence. Some said they should follow Earth's pathwalk away from politics and grow strong alone. The Council's control was slipping. On the outer rim, once thriving colonies began to fall. Without Earth's technology, they couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't feed themselves. Advanced AI systems Earth had gifted were now failing. Backup systems didn't exist because no one had ever needed them. Earth's quiet support had been like a shield. No one noticed until it was gone. Pirates grew bolder. Some rogue fleets declared themselves rulers of entire sectors. Old wars that had been frozen for generations ignited once more. And through it all, one truth kept haunting the stars. Humanity had warned them. In a dark chamber deep in the capital tower, Varn, the council's head, stood alone. His proud shoulders were bent now, his eyes heavy with shame. The room still had Earth's empty seat. Dust had gathered around it, but he hadn't allowed it to be removed. He stepped forward, placed a simple data crystal on the desk, and activated it. It played Earth's final warning, Mark's last speech to the council. We don't ask for loyalty. We don't ask for worship. We ask for wisdom. When a friend offers a hand, don't slap it away. When a voice offers warning, don't laugh. We offer peace because we know war. We offer help because we remember being alone. One day, if that help is rejected, we won't shout. We won't fight. We'll simply stop. And they had, across human space, gates activated one by one, not to attack, but to leave, to rise. Humanity had found something beyond another realm, another layer of reality, something the council still didn't understand. They weren't retreating. They were ascending. Some council scientists called it dimensional migration. Others said it was just myth. But the truth was visible. Earth's light was fading from the stars. A transmission was detected near the outer fringe. A small beacon. Left behind. It played just once, to those who remain. Remember, peace is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. But ignorance is always a choice. And then nothing. No more messages. No more sightings. Just the stars. And the galaxy learning to. Late what it had lost. Asterisk. The stars remember years past. The galaxy no longer resembled the one Earth had once helped shape. The Grand Council had fractured into isolated factions. Trade between species became slow and dangerous. Entire sectors fell into lawless chaos. Once thriving colonies struggled to survive, but even in the darkest corners, people spoke of Earth. Of the humans who once stood beside the weak, of the quiet strength that held back war, kept the balance, and asked for nothing in return. Legends grew. Some said Earth had found a gateway to a higher realm, and left this galaxy forever. Others believed they still watched from afar, waiting to see if the galaxy could learn without them. And a few, the oldest and wisest, simply said, they walked away because we left them no choice. On the edge of the galaxy, near the ruins of a once vibrant council colony, a group of explorers found a monument tall, black, smooth as glass. No one knew how it got there. No ship had entered that space in years. Etched into the stone were words in the common galactic tongue. We gave everything. You chose pride, so we walked alone. Below that, in smaller text, may you find the strength to rise without needing us. No one claimed it. No ship was ever seen placing it. And yet, it stood glowing faintly, untouched by time or dust. A quiet reminder to all who passed. Earth had not abandoned the galaxy out of hate. They had walked away out of disappointment. In human space. Now, completely closed off stars still moved unnaturally. Shapes flickered at the edge of vision. New life was being built. The Deathworlders, the AI minds, the explorers. They had turned inward, not to hide, but to evolve. Inside their walls, humanity had become something more. Something beyond the old council's understanding. And in the far future, if Earth ever returned, it would not be to ask. It would be to decide. Until then, their silence would speak louder than any fleet. And the galaxy, once proud, now humbled, would never forget the moment when humanity walked away. Without a word. Asterisk.